something came into me that just was in opposition to quitting. I had quit on myself, but I didn't give up on myself. After struggle comes ease. And that phrase always stuck a chord in me because I struggle in life, even like building something with the hope that people will come and then they don't, and it doesn't work out. In that struggle is the opportunity to develop strength, to acquire skills, to discover yourself and what you're made of, and to discover what it is to not quit. You don't stop. You don't give up. I know in struggle, in difficult times, I will hit up against the desire in myself to quit, to give up, and literally feel energy bleeding out of my bones into a state of weakness. Quitting, it's a physiological, energetic, spiritual state. But every time I recognize I'm actually moving into quitting, the realm, the world of what it is to quit, which is powerless, deadness, without energy, without life force. And in those moments, I won't quit. And somewhere out of nowhere, energy comes back into my bones. Somewhere, some force re-enters my being and almost transports me forward. Even if it's just one step forward, I'm moved forward out of that quitting state and space of mind and being. And somewhere on the other side of not quitting is ease, is some kind of flow that carries us. 5th, 6th grade, growing up in San Francisco, Mountain Lake Park. I remember there's a group of boys. There's probably about 30 of us. And we went into the park there. It was during the day. And these were a bunch of boys that I didn't know that well. Some of them I knew. I was kind of the new kid in the group that day. And I was teased a lot up to that point. And one of the kids starts punching me. And I wasn't hitting back because I wanted to fit in. So I was just kind of going along with it, and it escalated where then threw me down to the ground and he just kept kicking me and hitting me. And I was just taking it. This went on though for like 45 minutes. I had quit on myself. However, I was rationalizing it as like, well, if you fight back, these kids are always going to hate you. Here's my point. In my mind, I knew that I could take this kid out, the one that was coming at me. After about 45 minutes of just being bullied, and all the other kids are standing around, all the other boys are laughing, calling me the P word, calling me a wussy, a wimp. And this kid is just being more encouraged to just keep hitting and kicking me. But it got to the point where I was so weak and so beaten up, and it was relentless. I had nothing in me, but then something in me got triggered. I had had enough. I just hit a threshold. And out of nowhere, and I don't know where it came from, I just remember just jumping up, and I picked that kid up over my shoulders and slammed him to the ground and jumped on him and started beating on his face. And then some of his friends tried to jump, and I had this power that suddenly I'm fighting all and picking them up and throwing them to the ground. I didn't really know how to fight. I did martial arts and stuff, but not at that level and not with that many kids like bullying me all at once. But something came into me that just was in opposition to quitting. I had quit on myself, but I didn't give up on myself. And then when I hit some threshold and it was like, okay, it was time to act. Maybe I felt a threat for my life, but whatever got triggered in me, man, something worked through me. Kind of like the mom who, picks up the car with her trapped kid. It was a very like existential experience for me. When I ran off, I was shocked and surprised. Like I had no idea how I just did what I did or where that came from. That whole bully experience for me taught me something about not quitting. I took enough of a beating of quitting on myself that I was like, okay, never again. Never again am I going to quit for that long and in that way. And that I have the power to always recover no matter how bad it gets. If I don't quit, I can't fail, even if it's just one step forward. You have to vote for yourself. If you sell out on yourself long enough, if someone's lying about you or trying to destroy you or being hurtful to you or abusing you, at a certain point, you're selling out on yourself by just putting up with it or trying to ignore it. You actually have to vote for yourself. I like to call it self first, putting the oxygen mask on first so that you can be who you need to be for the rest of your life and people in your life. But if you completely sell out on yourself and you just become a doormat and you sell out on what your values are ultimately, and you allow people to do things to you that completely go against your values and are lies and not truth, then it's on you, actually. I think it's on all of us. Different than selfish or self-indulgent, but self-first in order to be true. It's a real thing. If you don't, you end up just a puddle of weakness and tied up in full of knots made up of self-doubt and yada, yada.